Right, so looking at the next component, and this one it is known as the mitochondrion. So as for the mitochondrion, this is where cellular respiration take place. Now in terms of cellular respiration, this is actually known as the powerhouse of the cell, simply because this is where the energy is released. Right, so in terms of the cell releasing energy, this is exactly where it takes place, and it is known as the mitochondrion. Sometimes you will see the textbook saying mitochondria, and that is whenever they are talking about more than one. So mitochondrion is talking about one, while mitochondria is whenever you're referring to more than one. So the fourth pointer, where energy for cell activities are released, and again, that is why it is referred to as the powerhouse of the cell, because definitely that's the place where the energy is released. Cells which are more active normally contain more mitochondria. Now, cells such as your muscle cell, so comparing your muscle cell versus your white blood cell, for example, I can ask you which one of those cells will contain more mitochondria, and your answer should be your muscle cell, simply because your muscle cell normally more active than your white blood cell, for example. Moving down to a next cell component, this one is called the cell wall. Now in terms of cell wall, looking at the plant cell here, so the plant cell of course contain a cell wall. So this is the cell wall, the outer section there, so this is the yellow section there. This is what is known as the cell wall. Now animal cell, as for animal cell, you will not find a cell wall in animal cell. So only plant cell you will find cell wall in. So that's a difference between plant cell and animal cell, meaning that you will find cell wall in plant cell but not in animal cell. So the first pointer there, this is a non-living layer outside of the plant cell. And so non-living meaning basically it is actually dead. So that's why they are saying it is non-living. So it normally tough in terms of function. It normally offer protection. So just like how the animal cell is protected or surrounded by the cell membrane, as for the plant cell is surrounded and protected by the cell membrane, and then to the outer part it is surrounded by the cell wall. So plant cell normally more protected than animal cell in terms of the components. Moving down to a next cell component, now we're looking at a vacuole. So large in plant cell and contain water, normally known as cell sap. So in the plant cell, the vacuole normally large, while in animal cell, the vacuole normally much more smaller. And again, the reason why the vacuole is large in plant cell but small in animal cell is simply because plants normally make their own food. And in order for the plants to make their own food, they're going to need a lot of water. As for human being or animal, for example, we don't make our own food. So, as a result of that, we don't need a large vacuole, because the main function for the vacuole is to, of course, store water. Alright, so moving down in terms of cell component. Chloroplast, that's the next component. So as for the chloroplast, it is a green pigment. So it normally contains a green pigment that is called chlorophyll. Understand? So the chlorophyll normally found inside the chloroplast. So this is what actually give the leaves of plants that greenish in terms of color. So this is where a very important process take place in plant, and that process is known as photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is a process by which plants make food, make their own food. And of course, these components, they are not found in animal cells. You're not going to find chloroplast, then you're not going to find the chlorophyll in the animal cell, simply because animal cell don't make their own food. So there is no need for them to actually have chloroplast or chlorophyll. So that's the next difference between plant cell and animal cell. Moving down, the ribosome, the function for the ribosome is to make or manufacture protein. Endoplasmic reticulum, that's the final component that we're going to look at in terms of the cell organelles. So the endoplasmic reticulum, its function is that it provides a surface for ribosomes. So in terms of ribosomes being situated in the cell, the endoplasmic reticulum, of course, accommodate the ribosomes. And the second function, the second pointer is saying that transports materials through the cell. So the endoplasmic reticulum, in terms of moving substances from point A to point B within the cell itself, it is the endoplasmic reticulum that actually does that, which is not over any far distance, because cells, they are extremely small, and the fact that they are extremely small mean that the distance that they actually take to move substances from point A to point B definitely not going to be too far. So we have a table here, and it is very important that you know this table in terms of its content, because differences between plant and animal cell, it is a must that you know the differences between plant cell and animal cell. So the first one is the shape. Animal normally irregular in terms of shape, while the plant is rectangular. Then the cell wall, in animal cell there is no cell wall, but it is present in plant. Vacuole, normally large, normally small in animal, but large in plant. As for the chloroplast and chlorophyll, they are both not present in animal cell, but they are present in plant cell. So it is a must that you know the content for that table. Now yes. So now comparing plant and animal cells, so these lists of components, these lists of parts or cell organelles, you will find them in both plant cell and animal cell. So these are known as the similarities. So these are common things between the plant cell and the animal cell. Alright, I have some questions which you're going to use the rest of the class time to complete these questions. Yes, I'm going to use the rest of the class time and complete them. Once you complete them, then you will send them off to me via WhatsApp. So, it large enough you can see the questions? Okay, perfect. So get down those questions and complete them.
So the one on the board, are those questions or?
Yeah, yes, though you are seeing them with the first. No, oh, sorry, those are not the questions. Okay, yeah, see the questions here. You can see them now?
Not sure I'm not really understand that.